Well, we have
Still
an
have
issue.
some-
All
All
right,
right, this meeting over. If you please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Minutes.
All right, I have the exceptions of the November town clerk's report and approval of the November 20th town board minutes.
Can I get a motion?
All right, so moved.
Can I get a second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bills.
I have general bill number 21307 through 21337 and 21339 and 21340. Highway bill 2134 through 21350 and water bills 3331 through 3336.
Can I get a motion on the
Make a
bills?
motion to pay the bill.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a quick statement here. Well, somewhat quick. I want to welcome everyone to our December town board meeting. I would like to first take a moment to thank two community members, Carol Hart and John Hart, for a wonderful and amazing Wreaths Across America ceremony that took place Saturday, December 14th at the Evergreen Cemetery. This is a special event that honors our veterans we have lost and pays them the great respect that they may be lost but are not forgotten. All year long, Carol and John worked to raise the money to pay for the wreaths placed on the graves. This is in no way a one-day job. Many townspeople showed up on this very cold day to participate, and I would also like to give thanks to them as well. I encourage you, if you're not involved with this program, to find out more information and possibly get involved. It would be an immense help. Contact Carol or John if interested. On another note, just to let everybody know, the Pine Plains Firehouse this Sunday from 8 to 11, we'll be having breakfast with Santa. Please come out and enjoy a buffet style breakfast and say hello to Santa. In county news, I attended a rollout meeting in regards to the operational aspects of the Dutchess County Supplemental EMS service that will begin on January 1st, 2025. Just a quick overview of it is that the county has contracted a paid service for 2 full ambulances and 1 flag car to be placed in 3 locations in the county 24/7. These ambulances will be used for a backup if your current ambulance service cannot get out. This meeting was more just an operational meeting on how they are going to try and work it out. Also, we have been adding and subtracting some stuff on the website recently within the last week and are trying to make it better, as I've said, over the summer. When it was brought up, we cannot do this without your input. We have only received a few emails on what changes you would like to see. The last email was a bunch of stuff from our board member, Kevin Walsh, which we have been able to go in and start making these changes. What I'm asking for is feedback. Email us and tell us, we will make the changes. Do not just complain about it. Please put it on paper so we can strive forward. Well, we are on the website in the Discovery Pine Plains section under Town Supervisor Updates. I will be making posts and any updates on things around town or events I have attended on a fairly regular basis. I will also try and report on a summary of our last meeting of important points discussed. Currently, this is a post on, there is a post on there about our first discussion about our new town hall project. I will keep all updates on there from meeting to meeting. You will also be seeing a post on, as the town of Pine Plains is looking to hire a laborer for the highway department that will be taking place of our buildings and grounds position. All interested in applying for this position, please contact my office or the highway office for an application. The responsibilities for the position will be posted as well. The application will be open until February 4th. Our parade lights went off with very minor issues this year, and we had a great turnout of floats. The crowds in town seemed down, but picked up around parade time. Thanks Carl and Ebus, for your work, the volunteers, Stitching Center, the bank for warming area and hot cocoa from the firehouse. And thank the police department and the fire department for handling traffic. Town looks great for the holidays as well, and I want to wish everybody happy holidays. Next, we have, town attorney.
Oh, so I have a few things for you. I sent this on to you. I don't know if you had a chance to review it. You had contacted me about the truck, the new highway truck.
Yes,
And I don't know if I got the fact right, in the resolution, but it's my understanding you were going to buy a 2024 truck and then they notified you that you could get a 2025 truck.
that we had to get a 2025.
You have to get it, okay.
Yes.
And there would be some kind of discount, was there,
It was actually a minor price increase.
okay.
Of a truck that we're already like signed a contract for,
Right,
and did we put down at the payment or?
We did not.
Oh, okay.
so it's my understanding that they want you to pay for the
Equipment.
equipment
Yes.
up front, and that would be, I have that in the resolution. 138,995, is that right?
Sounds about right, yes.
Right, so you had asked how that can be done because you intend on bonding it, the
That is
entire cost through a statutory installment bond
correct.
at a later date, but we're not ready to do that. So there are two ways of doing it. One way to do it is to, we have to pass a bond resolution, which I prepared for tonight. And once you have that bond resolution in place, you could get a bond anticipation note and pay for the equipment. And then roll that over into a statutory installment bond for the whole truck. The easier way to do it would be to simply pass the bonding resolution and then take the money out of you have a highway reserve fund?
Yes,
You can take the money out of the highway reserve fund, pay for the equipment, and then when we close on the bond, you can repay that fund. So that's easier than going through a bond anticipation note. And I talked with our accountant about
Yep.
that and he agrees. So if that's okay with you, I prepared the bond resolution, which you're gonna need in order to borrow. You can't borrow without that resolution.
Yep.
I think most of the facts I've gotten correctly.
and we still haven't, I don't believe, Carl, we still have not received a delivery date on that, correct?
Nope.
You're gonna have to notify me, well in advance of the delivery date, so we can, we're gonna have to contact some banks to find out what the interest rates are and if they're interested in doing it. And I'll talk to our town clerk about it.
Because this is going on since 22, correct?
Yeah.
Really?
Since 22. Yep.
Well, I couldn't find a bond resolution, so I did one for us, so that we have that. And then I prepared a separate resolution authorizing you to take the 138,995 out of the highway fund. So if you want to pass both of those resolutions tonight, we can go ahead and do that, and then you can take.
Yeah, because then
Um,
gets us our truck,
can
right?
I get a,
I'll make
which
a
one you wanna
motion.
do first?
Let's do the bond resolution first.
I make a motion for the
We'll
bond
get some roll
resolution.
call, I think, right? Roll call.
Can I get
Yes.
can I get a second?
I'll second it. Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, you gotta do
Councilman
roll call.
Walsh.
Aye.
Councilman Ambrose.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cisco.
Aye.
Councilman Walsh.
Aye.
Councilman Zick.
Aye.
Okay, send me a copy. This has to be public. I'll give you the information.
Okay,
Well, even on Monday, but you might be able to talk about it tomorrow. You're gonna be in tomorrow?
yes,
Okay, so
Yep.
maybe give me a call, and it's in the resolution what you need to do.
okay.
The other thing is the expenditure from the trust fund. I thought I'm gonna change the language a little, because I thought you were gonna get a discount on this, so. I will amend the language appropriately, but you can just go ahead and pass the resolution subject to that amendment.
Can I get a motion to pass this resolution subject to the amendment?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Supervisor Walsh.
Aye.
Councilman Ambrose. Councilwoman Cisco.
Aye.
Councilman Walsh.
Aye.
Councilman Zick.
Aye.
So I'll get that to you. We have to take what we have to put some things in the paper about the bond resolution. And then when the truck, when the equipment needs to be paid for, just take it out of the highway fund and we'll reimburse the fund from the proceeds. The other thing, I did your resolution for the delegates to the Association of Towns meeting.
Yep.
So that's ready to pass.
Can I get a motion on that resolution?
I'll make that motion.
You saw that.
Yeah. Did you see it?
I didn't get a chance to read it.
What is it? Just
Okay,
sign up, you have to
it
go.
makes me the first appointment in, Janine the backup, the alternate. Yeah,
That's what I was
Yeah.
told.
yeah, yeah, that's good.
Okay.
You all right with
You
that?
requested.
You want to reverse it?
Always the bridesmaid.
All right, so,
The only problem is you gotta get up like 6:30 in the morning because the meeting's at 7 usually on the boat. But
yeah,
other than that.
Can I get a motion on the resolution?
So
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
the other thing is
You want a roll call on that?
oh, yes. No, you don't need a roll call. Not spending any, really spending any. The other thing is the moratorium law needs to be extended. I did get some additional information from the committee that was reviewing this, so we now have several recommendations. It's gonna take a little while for me to take those and put them into a local law and go through the process. But I'm hearing some rumors that there might be people looking around to do another solar project in town and some inquiries, so.
no.
So
We just survived the first one.
yeah, that's, I haven't seen anything specific, so I'm just telling you what somebody told me.
Well, that's pretty good because I haven't heard that rumor, so.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
haven't.
In any event, what I did was I prepared a local law, extending the moratorium for another 6 months. There was more than enough time to get this passed. And I have that for you tonight. There are a couple of blanks I have to fill in. I'll fill it in. And I have a resolution setting accepting the local law for passage and scheduling public hearing. What would be your first meeting in January?
January,
Yes.
third Thursday.
Third Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay. So it'll be
You
on
want the
that.
date on that?
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll get the documents to you
Okay,
in clear
post.
form.
Yep.
We're all set. The only other
You want us to
thing,
go ahead
You
and
want-
take care of that resolution right
We
now?
can do that.
oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Can I get a motion? to
I'll make a
accept it?
motion
All right.
to accept that. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Supervisor Walsh.
Aye.
Councilman Ambrose.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cisco.
Aye.
Councilman Wall.
Aye.
Councilman Zick.
I'll get the notice of public hearing to you for that hearing. I have to discuss with you in executive session some issues with regard to the Carson Powers project. I categorize it as contractual. We can do it in an actual, well, I think we should do it in executive session after the meeting. It won't take too long. And I don't know if Michael's here.
Yes,
He is, yeah.
I was gonna invite him in to,
So we're gonna do 2 executive sessions. We're gonna do one right after the department heads. You'll be the second one, okay?
all right, that's fine. I did get, you sent me the Labella contract. I
Yes.
have not had a chance
Okay.
to review that, but I'll get that.
Okay.
No problem. And that's all I have.
What
Did you
about the telephone?
I have a
pole?
que- yeah,
But
The telephone pole law.
Yeah, that's on
I'll
my
have that
list,
for
yeah.
you for
For
January.
January,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
We're all coming up 82 hot.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
That was on my list of questions.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll have that for you in January. We'll start the public hearing. We'll introduce the law and then we'll start the public hearing. The next one.
Yeah, now all I see driving down the road is poles.
Mm.
You know, you don't notice them until you start looking at them.
You realize that you
Kinda
get money
did
for them
here and
being in
there.
the ground, just sitting
Yeah.
there, yeah.
But you go at 199 and it's quite a few years now, more than 3, that they set up all those new poles. And there are a lot of telephone poles just hanging by the telephone wire.
Yeah.
It's literally not connected to the ground anymore, so
Yeah.
it's, I think they need a shake-up call.
You won't be the first municipality to pass such a local law. There's some prototypes. for
I like the 30 days part of it, though.
Good, good.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're gonna scream and yell, but.
that's okay. Let them scream.
That's all you have for right now?
Yeah.
All right, public comment.
Um,
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, so I'm here representing the beautification committee that has started to look into some things in the town and hopefully enhance it. One of the things that we talked about at our last meeting was maintaining cleanliness in the town. And there are no garbage cans available in town. There are now, I think, if I'm correct, during
They come out for the
their
town
plastic,
decorating
right,
day,
and
yeah.
they're still out,
thanks to Carl Beaton.
yes.
He picks those up like when town decorating days was.
And I mean, which is great. You know, I feel like we all do. I think that we need to prevent the litter and encourage, you know, people to dispose of their waste and not just throw it on the ground. And by having these garbage cans, hopefully that would encourage people to do that, you know, and just enhance the overall appearance of the town. I'm not quite sure why there aren't any garbage cans available to the public in town.
Well, because mainly I would say that they're not available right now is because there's no job for somebody to actually clear them. Or we don't actually have a place to bring the trash when the trash is like empty out of there. Plus, I feel like rodents might become more prevalent in the area with open trash and cans, so can still get in there. We have a few unoccupied buildings down there that.
I would think
And
that
it's
having the garbage can would prevent the animal rodents, especially the ones that are designed
I concur.
that, you know, have a top on them. And, you know, the other thing the town could consider is maybe supporting, I'm not sure what the fee is, but the local, I don't know the name of his company or anything, I'm sorry. The man who picks up the
McIsaac?
garbage, you know, maybe he would give, you know.
That's a possibility. We also have a maintenance guy that we're about to hire.
Well, maybe
So
then that could
It
take
could
that.
be included in the job
We
title.
discussed that as part of that job responsibility, so that would be.
Yeah.
And we've discussed, I just want to introduce Elena Elena Macarello is now the co-chair along with Vicky Sirocco, of the beautification committee.
And Janine.
And-
Valentine Chase is also. she's-
Jean is present, yeah. but
I'm looking
the-
at Janine.
These
and
are
I'm
the
like-
two co-chairs. We talked about having a trash and recycling bin in the town park, right in the center of town for about 6 months now. So I'd like to make a motion that the beautification committee can present the town board with a recycle bin and garbage bin and we would cap the cost at $800
I'll second that.
Wait, for one?
for both. So $400 a recycle bin and a garbage bin.
I'll second that.
Yeah, and for approval though, like we want to see before you pull
Don't
trigger,
bring
yeah,
back the.
please bring us back.
Ask a question.
Yes.
When other organizations come forward and they buy a garbage can for town, I don't ever remember having to, if we're already in the budget, we already have a line item. Why
Anybody
do
needs
we have
approval
to-
for over a $500 purchase. Like any department needs an approval for a $500 purchase.
Which I know has not happened in a long time, so.
Well, we're by the book on this board.
That's not the answer I was expecting.
Well, we're gonna get a garbage can, so.
Yeah, I'm Judy Valentine Chase on this committee with Vicky and Elena. I'm wondering if $800 is going to be sufficient amount for two separate containers. We should probably do some investigation and then get back with.
Since you're gonna get back to us, why don't we pass it that way with the potential for a higher threshold, and then we'll make the decision.
Why don't you guys bring us
I
3
mean-
options?
Yeah,
I went through and I
Next meeting.
found
And we'll go from there.
garbage cans under $400. I mean, people are okay, like, we've never had a garbage can down there, so we don't know how it's gonna work out.
Yeah, we used to
And
have a
then-
barrel there.
Okay, but people,
Where?
In the park.
in the park,
Center
yeah, Center
We
Park,
used to
yeah.
have barrels
There
there.
used to be barrels there, and Jimmy McIsaac used to change them out, because there was also one on the corner of the library next to Marion Dodge's insurance company. I frequently witnessed that when I lived across the street.
I think,
Who
and
paid for it then?
rather than just an open top barrel, though, we need something that's sort of municipal in nature so that, you know,
Anybody
it
driven
contains the garbage.
See theirs, they have a street line full of, and they have like some type of a top on them.
Something like this.
They're a lot nicer than that. I mean, they have probably 10 of them on the main street. I'm wondering how expensive.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but for,
Hey, you guys bring,
bring
you
it
guys
back.
bring 3 options to us, what you want next month, and that'll be that.
Thank you.
They have 2 sets in the village of Rhinebeck. You might want to take a look at
Yes,
that.
there you go. There's another.
Yeah.
Those are very industrial, the ones that. they
Yeah,
have
but they're
there, yeah.
nice.
Okay.
So just bring back some options and we'll just.
Go with it.
And we'll approve it, right?
What's the date of the next meeting?
Thursday in January, I can't see it on the.
You're not gonna see them.
Yeah, no, it's not on that calendar yet, but.
So
January 16th.
Thank you.
16.
I have something for public comment.
Thank you.
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay.
Is there anybody else in public comment right now? Okay, go ahead, Chuck.
All right, so my public comment is trying to address the subject of Peck's Market. We've all seen it, it's going downhill, and we don't seem to be able to convince them otherwise to do something better. And Brad Mitchell is here this evening, and he has spoken to me a number of times about the potential of putting in a new supermarket down by Stewart's, and I just want to start that conversation. Brad, can you offer any input on that?
Hang on 1 second.
I agree with Kevin. If you've lived in this town long enough, you know the history of Peck's Market. Unfortunately, if Don closes that market, that building is probably gonna sit for 40 years, like his other building is sitting on South Main Street.
Well, that's sad, but
And you know what?
it's,
I won't be here in 40 years.
and me neither.
These younger people here, then they're gonna look at that empty building for 40 years. It's something needs to be done about that,
Right.
or take a proactive, take a proactive approach to it and develop a plan for a possibility of another food market in town.
That's what Brad and I have been talking about. Brad, why don't you enlighten us a little bit of some of your ideas about it?
Well, like you just said, I think it looks pretty inevitable that it's not gonna last much longer. And the building, the current building, even if someone was to come in and try to bring in a store in that building, it's inadequate and small. And I don't think any chain store of any substance would want to have that. The other problem, of course, is the zoning, because it would be a fairly large building. So there aren't too many spots it can go. I'm a resident of Red Hook, but I have long ties to this community. And my father, Dale Mitchell, has the land behind Stewart's, so I know this is self-serving, but it's really the only place in town it can go. So I think if you don't start planning, like you said, right now, you're gonna see the Peck's go out of business sometime next year, I would say. And
That's what it looks like.
Sit empty, and there'll be no grocery store in this town for 2-3 years before, then it'll be too late to start the planning.
Ask Millerton what that's like.
Exactly.
So,
I think, first of all, that's an exciting and important thought to really try and take control of something that's very important to the community and is smack dab in the center of town would be wonderful. I also know in the way that one knows things in small towns, so I can't say, I will say names, but that there are at least 2 other grocery enterprises that are small and local in, within a 25-mile radius, who have also approached the owner of Peck's and have not been successful. So I would hope that any planning would be very public and to the extent possible that you would have planning parameters, because certainly you could, these 2 places that I know of have come and wanted that site because I think of its location and its centrality. So I just think making this a process that's really open would be really helpful for the town.
That's a great idea.
Well, any planning, any business that wants to come in or anything or change anything has to go in front of the planning board. It's not this board that handles that, so anything's in.
But what I would say about that is if you think about it a little bit, I mean, it's hard. You can't attract a grocery store with the zoning problems the way it is right now. Unless the town thinks about it and plans for it and almost pre-approves it. You just won't get someone to come in and possibly buy and then say, but what are we gonna do? Will we be able to get the building built? So I think you have to think about, do you want to go with option A of the existing location and keep it small? And hopefully someone can make it work, but then you have the problems of the politics between Pex and them. Or do you want to try to get a little bit larger store, like Stewart's is just expanded, and bring in something a little more substantial at a different location? I know that it isn't central and it's not the best, but it's a pretty good option. But that has to be community minded. I think the community has to decide it wants that. If the community doesn't go forward with that idea, you can't bring in an Aldi's or something like that. Because they're just gonna say, too many problems, we're not interested.
How big, hang on one second,
Okay.
Michael, how big of a building can you put back there? I mean, if we allowed 12,000 square feet?
Wouldn't be huge, but.
All right, so gross floor area is limited to 12,000 square feet. That's,
6,000.
well, it's 6,000 and 12,000 two
Yeah,
floors.
6,000.
Okay, can I talk,
Yeah,
please?
sure.
Thank you. All right, so, it is, 6,000 square feet. Again, you can go for a variance before the zoning board. But building up because it does allow for 12,000 square feet with multiple floors, and I think that I would look at the 12,000 square feet in front of the ZBA as probably, a size that would get approved.
The footprint size of 12,000?
No.
For a grocery store, yes.
Yeah, it would have.
For an actual grocery store. Let's look at this process. Okay, this is unusual, what is being suggested. So what normally happens is that a business gets an idea, identifies a market here and wants to open up a business. Identifies a piece of property that they're going to buy, either enter into an option contract, whatever, or buy it right out, if they're, have the money. And then comes to develops a plan and then comes to the board. And we do have preliminary meetings where someone will come to us and, spitball ideas like, oh, is this something that would be amenable to the board? In fact, we just had that recently with the wood, the Hudson Company. And we're waiting on to see, their plan once it's fully fleshed out. But, trying to, as a town, like actively trying to quarterback some sort of process of opening a grocery store, I don't know if that's really the place for town government. Now, you can obviously, solicit out there and I would suggest talk to Don. I know as far as we know, I've heard that he's not very amenable to any sort of approaches like this, but, talking about these people that have made offers for the business that or have established stores. That being said, talking about I understand as far as the size is concerned, but no one's gonna come and put a Stop and Shop here. There's no way there's enough people in this area to support a full-fledged large grocery store. It'd have to be some sort of, in Millerton, they ended up finding the Sharon Market people are the ones that bought the Grand Union buildings. So I don't anticipate, Stop and Shop or Hannaford or they're the same now, right? Or ShopRite or, Adams or somebody like that, maybe someone smaller, like one of these IGH, like in Connecticut, there's LeBon, somebody like that, maybe. But again, the within the law, I don't, I definitely bite a little bit at zoning problems. There's restrictions in place, being that the zoning was passed, voted on by the representatives. It was just created in 2009. It's been updated several times, including a major update in 2015. There's also limitations put in by not us, but the Department of Health. You know, any sort of large business is gonna have to deal with them for septic and all that and water and all that sort of thing. So, you know.
So there are obstacles.
Yeah.
But there always are.
Caution as to how, think about the place of government in this process and how.
I'd like to respond to that if I could. Yeah, okay, there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, the size, the footprint, okay, 6,000 square feet is the footprint, maximum footprint right now. The warehouse that Hudson Company just bought is 16,800. Okay, 16,800 square feet, that's more than double, almost triple that size. That's about the size that you would need for a substantial, normal grocery store this day and age. And I'm not opposed to, you know, boutique bonds, you know, coming into Pine Plains. I think you're gonna have a lot of problems with that. I think, yeah, it's just, I think the town has to decide what it wants. I mean, look at Stewart's, for example. Stewart's was, came into Pine Plains, everyone said, oh, you can't, you know, we can't have a Stewart's here. It has not only been successful, it's their #1 store. And they just expanded it and just spent over $1 million expanding it. So I think some of what you just said is a little short-sighted. And you have to think about how the town's gonna change and also the location. We're in the middle of nowhere, right? So when you say a Stop and Shop isn't gonna come here, I think you're 100% wrong. You'll draw people from all over the place, even from Northern.
You just said where's the mountain?
Yeah, I
Also,
don't,
it remains,
Central.
I don't think,
it remains to be seen what
I mean,
store,
why does Stewart succeed if it's in the middle of nowhere and there's nothing here? It's in the middle of nowhere, but it's central. You get people from Akron, you get people from Southern Dutch. Columbia County.
so it remains to be seen what, you know, store would come here, but certainly the interest must be expressed by a business in order to come
Well-
before the planning board. And then also, if there needs to be a review by the zoning board, then that would occur.
Right, so
We don't do it the other way around.
Well, no,
We don't change the zoning and hope that Stop and Shop comes.
No,
because-
that's not what I'm saying.
yeah,
I'm saying you need to start a community discussion,
right.
Mhm.
like we
do.
talked about what do we want? Where do we want it to be? What size do we want it to be? And start that discussion. Obviously, there's a lot of opinions and they differ.
I don't think what Michael said was short-sighted, though. I do think he's viewing it through a much different lens than what we look at it as, you know?
Michael knows more about the zoning than anybody else in the world.
Yeah.
Right, he's
I-
looking
yeah.
at the zoning lens, and I'm saying, hey,
Right.
do you want a small store forever?
I'll tell you
Or do you want
this
something a
much.
little larger that can grow?
What size is
grow-
PEX? Does anybody know what the footprint is?
I don't.
That's gotta be more than 6,000 square
About
feet.
10,000.
Yeah. Yeah,
But I mean, the whole process is even with the zoning, if a store like that was to come in, they would go to the ZBA first. If the ZBA thought that it was a viable idea, correct? Then they would pass it along to you guys.
Approved, right, well, it would come in, it's known as a coordinated review, we go to the ZBA, and then they would decide on the
'Cause they could,
variances. if
but they can make the
And
footprint
if-
bigger,
and
right? If they
that's
need
the
it.
way the town goes about it, it probably won't happen for several years.
Well, here's the thing.
May not.
I'm
may
suggesting
not,
that-
but we have
I
to do.
suggested we've gotten 0 calls from Stop and Shop. Okay, no, but I have plenty of things,
Yeah.
people that reach out and ask about the zoning, oh, is this allowed in your town and this is not allowed in your town? I've had 0.
I'm talking about the town creating the plan, not the business itself. And
Brad,
that's a
do you have
different-
land?
It's not
Do
really,
you have land?
It's not really a place of government.
it's not really a place of government. It's
Brad, do you
not-
have land? A land for a store that size?
Oh, yeah.
Then you should develop a plan to come to the ZBA.
Well, okay, I mean, it's not gonna be so easy. is
We-
what I'm
Gail
saying.
is-
When you
Listen,
when you talk to
listen,
the business.
Listen, I
You're
don't
next.
go, I don't go to PEX, I haven't gone there in 10
Gail's
years,
next.
I'm tired of looking at empty shelves.
Yeah.
Guess what, we cannot control what Don Peck is gonna do,
I
Right?
understand. I
everyone has
Right.
to we need to look at it a different way. And that doesn't mean we go out and we change the zoning plan, okay, we're gonna designate this area down, behind the post office for this, for that, but we need to go out
Oh, I'm not,
and we need
I'm
to
not,
find.
I think you guys misunderstand me.
All right, well, hold on a minute. We're gonna take one more comment on this and then we're gonna squash the
Gail's
rest of
got-
these comments. Gail.
So I think I'm in the middle. So,
there is a way, I think, to think about this very important resource for the community that's in the middle of our town. And to think about the role of government there is really one of economic development. I mean, this town really has to have employment, it has to have services, it has to have places that makes families want to stay here. And so part of the role is not in any way to go around planning, but really to have a planning that you would make in conjunction with zoning and other things. But to have that be about what would be most viable for the next 10 to 15 years in terms of the kind of economy we want to have here. And that's very different than saying, can we serve Stop and Shop, which is a very different kind of thinking about this. I don't think any of us know what's the ideal size for a grocery store, small or large. But I think the town has a really important role to start beginning to say, these are the kinds of businesses we want. There certainly are grants to really do economic development, to connect that with town beautification. I think you should just expand that lens a little, but I think there's definitely a role for government, as you can see by having Kevin bring this up, how there's a lot of energy in this room. So I just think it's really important to think about it. I would argue there is a major role for government, and all these other connections have to be brought into that.
And I would just say that I'm not trying to get the government to pre-approve or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you want a larger grocery store, and you may not want that, but if you want a larger grocery store in the town, to get a business to make that phone call and be interested in doing that, you have to have a discussion in the community about what you want to see, and that if there's a problem with the zoning being approved for that large building, that you would be generally in favor of doing that, so that the board knows already before it starts discussions that yes, that probably will not be a major problem. I'm not saying you approve it.
Right.
I'm just saying you start thinking about it and you say, hey, we're predisposed to a larger than 6,000 square foot footprint.
All good ideas. I think the most important thing that came out of this tonight is that we started a conversation, and it has some rough edges on it, but keep talking.
We got one more thing.
All right,
in
I
regards
just-
to-
Where would the placement of that be? I thought you already had the flooring company coming,
Mostly behind Stewart's.
so it'd be behind Stewart's.
Most likely, that would be the most
No,
logical.
How does
location.
that,
It could be
my
other
question
places.
is, how does that fit into our comprehensive plan and our zoning? You're gonna put it behind Stewart's, and you're gonna have they're putting up another building. So now we become, is that what we want to the entrance of our town?
Well, as far as what they're doing with the Hudson Company, yeah, it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah,
And it's
yes,
going to,
but now you're adding this.
right,
you're
but then
adding
that's
another
the whole
building,
idea. That's a
you're adding
perfect
another
spot.
big building in the
to-
back.
Yeah, perfect
So-
spot. It was where we have the room.
It'll be hidden,
Vicky,
Not to the people.
Unless you want to go talk to the Catholic Church about their property.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
I
one.
was on that board, I did that already.
Yeah,
All right, we're gonna move on to another topic.
okay.
Brian,
Thank you, Brad.
Michael,
Just
go
so
ahead.
I'm not misunderstood, I'm not against like changing zoning and to open up things if we are trying to attract somebody. But we don't, again, we haven't had, but the market has to determine these things. The town can't do it. It's just. it's
Right.
not the
I
place.
agree
We
with
don't have the knowledge, and what we have done in the past with other things, whether it be cable, all of stuff, we bring in people from the industry, and they can come and tell you, like, in this size town, this is what we would look to build, and,
The town can't
And then-
do it, but that's out of the vision.
they can come and educate us, if you will, what this town could, they view this town being able to sustain. And then we can look and see, is the zoning that restricting that it would not make that possible? That is clearly something that, we can't just go out and put this all together and then. Try to shop it.
Okay, we're gonna move into department reports. Highway,
Doing a good job of keeping the roads clear. the removal tree and debris in the storm. And some of the pipes. Brush pile is getting rather large. They're already almost as large now as was last year. This time. I think we've just run out of spots for people to get rid of their brush anywhere else, so. We might want to be looking into in next spring, getting the line again.
Yep.
I spoke to the gentleman working on our garage, waiting on a few more things. Such as doors, he's supposed to come and install the overhead stuff, so that'll be done. And
You expect by next month, maybe?
yeah, I suspect, yeah. And I talked to the company about our new sander. They're just waiting on delivery of it. It should be any day now. Well, yeah, that'll be beginning of next month, hopefully. That's everything.
Thank you, Carl.
So if I was to try to get us on the sub grinder schedule, when would you be looking?
Whenever it works.
Like
We
March,
usually do
April, right? Like,
April, May.
let the leaves and everything,
Yeah.
so I'll shoot mid-April,
That'd be great.
cause then if I can get on now, it's easier.
Thank you.
So you were.
Everybody received the building inspector's report,
Yes.
water engineer.
Monthly report was submitted to the health department. The average daily flow remains consistent at 54,000 gallons per day. One water meter was replaced. That was the bill that you saw from the local plumber. That's just because it was in a finished space, and unfortunately, I could probably do a little more damage than good if I were to replace that. So that's why I brought in a plumber on that one. Other than that, I've been replacing all the other ones in basements. 3 utility markouts were performed for annual water quality testing. Samples were taken from both wells, both well number 1 and well number 2, for PFOA, PFOS, and dioxane. So again, those are the forever chemicals that you hear about
All the time?
all the time. Yeah. And again, we have tested in the past 3 years. Each time we have not been detected for those contaminants. So I'm hoping that if we do the same this time, that we'll actually be able to request a waiver and then only have to test for those substances once every 3 years instead of once every year.
And how would those chemicals or whatever they are get into our water? Leaching in through ground?
Yeah, it would leach in through the groundwater system as far as that's concerned. Generally speaking, you'll find the contaminant or the source of those contaminants, excuse me, would be industry, landfills traditionally, and things of that nature. But
Okay.
we're also very lucky as far as where our wells are, because we have a very thick clay layer that sits on top of the gravel aquifer that we have. So we're very fortunate.
So it's impenetrable or nearly?
Well, no, because
Too much activity up there either, so.
no, but Mill Hill, that we do get our water coming down off of Mill Hill, and then it actually starts heading down underneath the clay layer off of Mill Hill. So if you take a look at the zoning for the town, you'll see that that's part of the wellhead
Protection area. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yep. So that's just something to be cognizant about as you look at development down in that area.
Okay.
Just in time for the cold weather that's supposed to hit over the next few days, we had a repair on our office heater. The pilot was clogged, and so that was replaced. About a week and a half ago, there was a repair made on the fire hydrant. I'm hoping that suits the need. That was about a week and a half ago. Did a full replacement or full rebuild of the bonnet, including all the seals, gaskets, thrust washers, the whole 9 yards. So let me know if they continue to run into issues.
Sure.
Okay. Because the next step would be to actually replace the hydrant in that case. Other maintenance, the annual maintenance was performed on the generator serving the facility with no issues, and both chemical feed pumps were cleaned and rebuilt. We will also be taking meter readings next week, and then the bills will be sent out at the beginning of January for the 4th quarter of the year. That's it.
Thanks, Ray. Police department.
Yeah, my written, I'll read the continuance. I attended the Dutchess County Association Police Meeting in Fishkill. Corporal Cameron responded to a lockdown at Red Hook High School and provided assistance to Red Hook Police Department along with New York State Police, Dutchess County Sheriff's Office, and other agencies. Corporal Cameron attended the mental health information presentation given by the mobile crisis team of Dutchess County. All officers received instruction, training, and qualification on a patrol rifle. And all officers, along with the Pine Plains Fire and Rescue, provided security and traffic patrol for the Freighter Life.
Thank you, John. Everybody received the animal control report? Yep. Yes. Recreation.
Thank you. First, we start with the beach. Thanks to John and Jen Blackburn, who headed up or spearheaded the removal of the old antiquated swing set. Remember, that was no longer covered. Our insurance provider suggested that be removed. It was unsafe of and approximate location to the fence line, property line, and that's been removed. An idea, that area below the swing set was filled with that playground shredded rubber, you know, so when you jumped off the swings, you landed in a soft landing. I want to get rid of that, and I'm just not sure what to do with it. Is there a place that I can bring it down to the highway garage? So we'll have to find somebody to
How much is there? Right.
how much is it?
Or how much, yeah, about how much? Truckload?
Probably at least 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, that's, so it's a rubberized stuff, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes they put
tires.
that in horse stalls.
Not if it's covered in dirt though,
It's not a mat, it's almost like a mold.
No, that's what I'm talking about. I've seen places that use that.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah,
Nobody that horses.
No.
yeah, it's all full of dirt, like, and it's
So,
all matted in
I'm
the
gonna
dirt
find
too.
a home for that, and then we'll plant some shrubs or something over there. Also screen the neighboring
Yep.
Bostwick camp from that side of the property. Also, in regards to the flagpole replacement at the beach, the VFW will take care of that if you give me the word that I can pass it on to go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
We'll do that in early spring before the beach opens. And we'll be careful not to get any monuments there and just pull it down and put something up,
Yeah, you better check with Joan in regards to that.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, boy.
The other thing is, basketball is up and running. We need some referees. If anyone would like to volunteer a couple hours on Saturdays to come ref, that'd be great. We start again on January 4th. That's our post-holiday restart.
Yeah,
We need to advertise for,
got someone interested right there, Coons, I think. Well, in the hat, no, never mind.
Me?
Yeah. No, I thought you were happy about that. Counts as community service.
yep, and
No, I already have all my community service.
I'll have to call Mr. Shoemaker, right? You can find me some reps.
Yeah.
And then our last thing is just our summer camp director position. I think we need to advertise for that now. Get started on that.
Yeah,
Jump on it.
can we put that out?
Yeah.
They'll go on the website and
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you, Coons.
CAC?
So the CAC has been working with the supervisor's office to update our webpage. We've corrected our meeting time, and we're working with Amanda to post the detailed agenda and the minutes of our meetings for the past, actually, and also for the future. Our goal for the upcoming year is to secure grant funds from the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation's Hudson River Estuary Program to create a natural resources inventory for the town of Pine Plains. In 2024, the town of Stanford received a little over $20,000, and the town of Milan received a little over $44,000 to develop their natural resources inventory. That's really considered the baseline that a community needs, upon which to do good environmental planning. The funding we hope to secure would supply basic information and maps of natural resources to provide GIS analysis, general mapping, analysis of critical habitats in our town, and it would be used by anyone, the Pine Plains Planning Board, other town agencies engaged in matters related to land use, policymaking, and environmental reviews. The NRI, the Natural Resources Inventory, would also be useful to landowners, to residents, to developers, and to others seeking to understand the natural landscape of Pine Plains. The New York State DEC funding deadlines for 2025 haven't been posted yet, but we expect to see them shortly after the new year. We anticipate it will take several months of consultation with the board, with town agencies, and methods for community participation to prepare a grant proposal. In 2024, funding was awarded in the late fall, and so we presume it'll be sort of on a similar schedule.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to go into executive session with the assessor and Warren, you can attend to in regards to policy?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, Dad, Jim, to executive session.
Motion, executive session.
Make that motion come out of executive.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion, back in executive session, including the town attorney, the session on deputy supervisor.
I make that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, that's abstaining.
Okay, can I get a motion to come out of executive session?
Someone make a motion, second.
There were 3 votes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right.
Where are we?
Old business, I'm just gonna give an update on our meeting that we had the other day. December 11th, town board met with our contracted architectural firm Lavella to begin the process of getting designed for a new town hall to be located in the center of town at our 8 and 12 North Main Street property. This was the first meeting to get us to a starting point. Labella will be performing a laser measurement of our current town hall for size, and then we'll be meeting with every department for a wish list. We're now moving forward. When we are able to get a sketch on paper, we will then be asking the community for input. In my opinion, we need something on paper to look at to make changes to. Right now, we have nothing.
Well, Bella does have a grant writer on staff, correct?
That's what they said.
Okay.
I think they said they had someone that would assist with grants.
Yeah, that's what they said, not.
I don't think
actually
that they'll
hiring
actually
it.
write. the
I was
grant,
just curious. I
but-
mean.
Yeah,
So are we still under old business?
Yes.
So the sewer committee, the wastewater committee met. And we did a little bit of canvassing and met with some good responses. But we decided that the best course of action was for us to draft up a letter, which Madeline happily printed and put in envelopes and mailed out for us. And the letter just says what we're about, what we're trying to do, and it's a feeler to see if there's interest in that first quadrant area. And I've also received an email from somebody in what would be the southeast quadrant, about the old library building, has interest also in wastewater. So
Kevin, what would your first quadrant be?
the northeast is what we were working with, which would be Hex,
So
that whole,
Okay.
yeah,
corner.
yep.
Okay.
That's where we were starting with the hopes to, gain interest. Those are the people that we mailed the letters to.
Okay. That consists about how many residents in that area?
There were
Approximate?
about 10, I think, on the list.
Oh, that's it?
Mailed Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because there's some big
And
buildings there.
businesses,
Yeah.
yeah, there's businesses. And probably that new business would be very interested because they're very limited.
Putting in a new
Actually,
They're putting in a brand new
Yeah, they're-
building right now.
yeah.
I know, but they
However,
would
they're
only approve them for 12 seats, right,
they're still
Michael?
limited, and when I spoke to
Yeah.
them,
I would not heard anything from
Yeah.
them if they've ever approval.
So
but
Yeah.
they're interested in,
they'd like to expand.
yeah, definitely.
You talked to them that night.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did when they did their presentation. So that's it for old business.
Oh, I think we did my old business. We talked about the
No.
housing, the pro housing certification. So that's been hanging around for a long time, and I have some documentation of what is going to be needed, but it's gonna need input from the planning board chairperson and also from our building inspector. So I made a
You
copy
have a
of
list of what was actually needed?
But you can email us.
whatever. I mean, so we can start with this, but so there is, and I just got this from another town actually today. So I haven't reviewed it, Michael, but
So if you can review that, Michael, and then maybe after the holidays. We can discuss
And
that.
and Warren has a draft of the resolution that would have to occur as well, but. So Amanda has set up a portal where the information has to be loaded into, but I think this talks more specifically about what we need. So maybe we can set up meeting and figure out how to
Definitely.
do this?
Sure.
And the reason to do this is because every time you apply for a grant, this gives you you win some points if you're a New York State pro-housing community. And it's for grants that are very important to us, the Downtown Revitalization Initiative, New York Forward, New York Main Street Program. I mean, so it's gonna be a lot of grants that it's really important for us to get this designation, and it's not that difficult. The town of Northeast did it, and I think they're listed on the HCR website now as at least their certification is pending, so that's a positive thing.
So we need a motion, to approve a letter of support for Hudson River Housing
I'll make that.
for their ADU
Second,
grant application.
I'll make that motion.
We got a second?
Second,
Yep.
All in favor?
aye.
Any other business anybody have?
No,
Okay. New business. I need the approval to accept compliance, for the 2025 renewal of our workman's comp.
I'll make that motion.
One second.
All in favor?
aye.
Very, minimal increase this year from last year. That's gonna, change next year probably.
Do I have new business?
Yes. Go ahead.
I make a motion that we have Warren draw up a law such that the deputy supervisor is a member of the board.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nay. Hey, Warren, I don't know if you can actually do that.
Yeah, I don't- I think it's
Supervisor's
yours.
choice.
No, he can.
Oh, he's still,
Most towns,
he's sitting.
the deputy supervisor is a member of the town board.
No, I was for it.
Warren, there is a motion put on the floor, for a town law to make it that the deputy supervisor is a town board member.
I mean, you can pass such a law. I mean, the way it normally works, the way it works by statute is that the supervisor appoints the deputy supervisor. If the supervisor doesn't do that, then the town board can do it. And the way the state statute is, doesn't have to be a member of the town board. You can override that with the local law under the home rule law and require that it be a board member.
In which case, it's a board member, but Brian would still choose who it is. He still has choice.
That's correct.
All
You
right.
wouldn't take away Brian's discretion, but it would have to be
Somebody from the board, and we've already voted on that. And it's in favor, so.
You're okay with that?
nay.
Oh,
Nay.
we had one nay,
One nay?
2 nays, 3 yays.
I'm for it, cause
Yeah.
I mean, most boards,
it,
to be honest.
it's the person's on there.
usually
It's an
someone on
elected
the board.
position,
Yeah,
you know, I got you, so
because you do run into a sticky situation about executive session.
Executive session,
or deputy-
as we
because
saw
deputy
tonight.
Supervisor's powers are very limited. So it's easier if it's a town board member, then you don't have to worry about that. So if you want that, I can get that.
Yeah, you got 3 votes, so.
Does that have to happen
Pass.
a public hearing? Do
Yeah,
hold
we
a
have to
public
pass a
hearing
local
early?
law, yeah.
Should we wait until we get the law and then pass the hearing or?
yeah.
Yeah, I think you should, when you do your reorg, I would hold off doing anything about deputy supervisor until we can get this thing straightened out.
Okay.
And that sort of thing. If that's what the majority of the board.
That's
wants
what
to
the
do.
majority voted.
Except that, isn't there a time limit when you have the reorg for the appointment to occur?
I have to check the statute, but you can waive that, I mean. it-
Oh, okay. I mean, I thought that there was a time limit for Brian to appoint.
No, listen, sometimes they never appoint the deputy supervisor.
What?
Some towns.
Just don't.
Cause it's never really needed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
Wow.
the vice president. I mean, they don't have any real power.
It's much easier.
It's to run a
you know, to be
meeting if
honest,
he's
it's
not
much
here.
easier with Town board member,
Yeah.
because then that member can clearly be in executive session. The town board member knows what's going on. It's not like they're, you know, not involved in the decision-making process. So, you know, it's probably.
Did I hear you correctly that he doesn't have to have a
That's
deputy?
nice.
Yeah, I know. Never told me that or
If
nothing.
he doesn't appoint a deputy, then the town, then the town board.
Under $400.
So somebody has to.
Yes, that's nice.
But let me check to make sure that there's no automatic. I mean, you can keep the current deputy supervisor until he changes around.
Mhm.
But I'll take a look at statute tomorrow. All right, but I'll have it for you.
So now we're back to executive session report.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have the business.
Oh,
Oh, just that, I kind of took the opportunity before during, the public comment to say that the beautification committee met on, December 11th and appointed two co-chairs, Elena Macarello and Vicky Sirocco. So welcome to that. The committee is working on a mission statement to guide their activities. And they have set up a meeting with Claire Goodman from Millerton of Townscape, which is a not-for-profit organization, and they raise money and do all the many wonderful things in Millerton to learn how they became established and maybe move in that direction. Also, I reached out to a organization called Choice Words LLC. The executive director is Steve Densmore. And the name sounded familiar to me, but I couldn't quite place it until I looked back in emails. And he's the gentleman that we got, and you and I, Brian, got a letter from asking for a letter of support for Jamie Hamill's Hudson
Yep. Yeah.
hardwoods thing. So anyhow, he's working on a grant with Jamie. So Kevin sat in on a Zoom meeting with me with Steve, and he had and one of his 11 associates, and he is very interested in putting together a proposal for the town of Pine Plains for us to retain their services as grant writers. They have 11 grant writers on their staff. They have an incredible resume and history. He wrote the grant, all of the grants that made the walkway over the Hudson a success. And so then based on that, he then started this company. So now he's working with 11 people. They all have different areas of expertise. Their grant award record is 1 out of 3.
which is
That's
pretty good.
really good.
It's very good.
He's gotten amazing grants and he's done the downtown revitalization grants for towns. He recently just won a $3,750,000 grant for a municipality for downtown revitalization. I don't have a proposal from him yet, so I can't really talk to you all specifically about it. And or costs, but you know, if his team can help us in writing grants for millions, that's worth a lot.
It's worth a tremendous amount. It'll
So-
cost to have them, but it'll pay even better because they bring to the table. It's one of the things that they told us they do is they have staff that actually combs through the grants that are out there.
Right.
They look at your municipality, see what your needs are, where you're going, and then they comb through the grants to find the ones that are applicable to you. And then with your say-so, they'll apply for them. And so, you know, they'll apply for a lot of grants. You won't get them all, but you'll get some. And the potential to get millions, if it costs us thousands, is well worth it. So,
So anyway, as soon as I get a proposal from him, I'll share it with everybody and then we'll decide what the next steps are.
Yep.
But I don't think we got, did you get any response to the Yeah, and you know, there's something to be said, I think, for using a team of people as opposed to just one person, you know, one grant writer. He said they always back each other up because, you know, grants are, it's tricky. It's timing and everything. He said, so he's always got everybody backing everybody up and sounds like a well-oiled machine to me, but we'll see what the proposal says. Also, there's a new grant for broadband. And I think that that's something that maybe Pine Plains should be interested in, especially here because we have terrible broadband here. So
broadband committee that was.
Yeah, we
still know all that stuff, like,
yeah, we have that report, which is good. So I just heard about that, I think, with yesterday. And so we should keep our, you know, ear to the ground about that.
The governor's representative reached out to me yesterday, gave me the
About broadband?
contact number and I talked to her.
And
I left her a message.
great,
I talked to the governor's governor's assistant for this region.
yeah,
They gave me the number of the lady that's in charge of the program. So I
fantastic.
left her a message yesterday.
That's all I have for new business.
Okay, our reorg meeting will be January 2nd at 7 p.m. Here at fire, or at the town hall.
is that a Monday? Tomorrow, Thursday.
Thursday,
At 7, you say?
yes.
Will we, I'm recalling that last year we received a document about salaries. Will we
Get that every
receive that?
year. Yep.
When though? In advance of that
Yes.
meeting?
Yes.
Like,
After Christmas.
January 2nd, right?
Can I get a motion to move into executive session? Warren, Michael, Sarah?
To discuss.
You want Jim in there? Now's
And
the
Jim.
time.
I'll second that.
To discuss, sorry.
Legal issues.
Ambrose, you second?
And are we coming out of?
Hang on.
Is that committee good? I second.
All in favor?
Making decisions?
Ask Warren if there will be any decision. I do not believe so.
Carl?
Possibly, you said.
Oh, I thought we did.
happy holidays, you guys.
You said
Motion to come out of executive session.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Merry Christmas.
Bye, guys.